Welcome to the Creative Studio. Hi, my name's Larry Pollock, and this is the Creative Studio. Tonight we're going to talk about softboxes and light modifiers, and we're sponsored by the Photographers Adventure Club. We're here in Parkwood Studios, and I happen to have the head of Photographers Adventure Club right here with me, Nicholas
How are you doing?
Papagallo. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about light modifiers. I know that, well, I'll just pull up a little one here. Here's a little baby one for a speed light, but they're all pretty much the same, whether they're large or small. And we both do a lot of studio work. How do you work with them? You have a particular favorite one that you work with for a key light?
Yeah, it depends. For a key light, I like my Octa, like my large Octa usually. I just got a new one. It was a 61-inch Octa I found on Craigslist and picked that up. So just lots of nice soft light.
Yeah, well, that's like fashion lighting.
Yep.
A lot of light comes from everywhere, so it doesn't really fall off a lot on the model. I'm really partial to beauty dishes where the light
Yeah.
stays very focused here, and then it tends to fall
Just drop
off very
off, yeah.
quickly, and you get a much more dramatic. And I tend to move my lights off to the side to get more shadows and drama from that. Whereas fashion lighting, like what you're doing, you probably want to bring that more forward.
Yeah, just bring it real close and wrap it around and just
Yeah.
real, like, especially for ladies and women, just to get a nice soft light.
Yeah, that's always the thing with guys. Sometimes you want a little more harsh, a little ruggedness to it, and with the fashion, you're talking about having that nice soft gradients and nice smooth skin, and
Sure.
of course the ladies are more happy about that when you go into
Smooth it out, exactly.
Well, one of the things that I've been doing, and one of the things I want to talk about is using the feathered edge of these softboxes, because it's really easy to grab, like this guy here. Here's like a 3x4. We can kind of throw that in here just for a moment, and the light in here is set right in the center of the back, and of course it's going to come through, even though there's another diffuser in there. The hot spots here, and then it kind of feathers off in here. And I think the tendency is just to point this right, that center, right every time.
That's what most people do, is just put it right in the middle.
Yeah, it's the first. It's intuitive what I did in the beginning, but then I started watching some of the pros out there that I was following and that I was wish I could mentor under all of them, but they were turning it off to the side so that maybe this was pointing off one side or the other, and you started to use the edge of the light over here or over in that side.
How do you tend to use if I was the subject, would you use the front edge or the back edge of the light?
For me, I play with both just to see what I see, but I tend, like, if you were there and I wanted to feather it, I probably would pull it away and use that edge over there from you, because this would throw a light maybe back on my back wall, my backdrop, and cause problems. I'd have to flag it off. Here I start to pull it away.
Gotcha.
Like that. So that light to me, let me move this out of the way here instead of holding onto it. To me, that light is much, I don't know, it's got a nicer quality, nice gradients, nice little bit of feather. It's not so harsh as that hot spot right out of the
right
center.
In the center, yeah. And
And
that's kind of why the beauty dish has that little disc in the middle to bounce it, so you don't really get as much of a hot spot in the middle.
Right, so the versus coming right through the baffle in the back here, that inner baffle, and hitting the other one, it's coming through. That bounces back and out into that dish.
Yeah.
It's like a great big salad bowl, basically.
Yeah.
And do that. This is just a strip box, and this one does this have the little one inside? Nope, this one doesn't. So this one comes right in here, and you definitely would have a hot spot because that light would be coming right out of the back.
Right in the middle there, yeah.
Straight in the middle. So you might consider just letting this fall off and let's just bounce that light over to you or something a little bit, not completely off. You can play how much, and then of course the angle where it is in relationship.
So you could get different lighting patterns or different looks from the same light.
Exactly.
So and I know a lot of times instead of bringing a second light, I'll bring a reflector or a whiteboard in as my second light. So when I'm shooting alone, I don't always shoot with 5 or 6 lights like we do for some of the events here.
Yeah.
So I'll set up my key light and then another just reflector here, and then that just gives you just enough to not have like a split lighting kind of scenario.
It can be just a simple piece of foam core that's sitting hanging on a C-stand, or even someone holding it and moving it. Just moving that in and out can change that quality.
Change the total look of the when you teach classes, we talk about that.
Right.
It's like we held the reflector underneath my chin, and everyone's like, ooh, as soon as like they did that,
Yeah.
they like without
Oh,
even turning studio lights on, just the light in the room, and it's like bring it in and it lights you all up your shadows and then pull it
yeah.
back out, and
Yeah.
everyone's like amazed by it.
Well, just how much you might fills in, how much does
Yeah.
that fill in under the, here where you might have that key light high, so you've got this hard shadow
Yeah.
or dark spot, and you can just fill that just as much as you want. Same thing with putting the reflector on the other side. Like right now the light's coming from here, so you have a shadow over on this side. We could
Yeah.
fill that by dropping a card in here and
Yeah.
just soften that to get just as much drama or softness as you want out of it. So I really recommend people play around with their modifiers. Don't just always, I think Joel Grimes actually modified some of his things and actually moved the light inside of the box to one side to force a gradient of light across the whole surface of that box. So I think it's just get out of the box and just start moving your, even the beauty dish, I turn it off at an angle a bit. I try to play with things to just get different quality. And I showed that to the guys I was shooting with this weekend, and they looked at the beauty dish after I made some modifications. They oh wow, right in the camera, they went, well, that's beautiful.
Yeah, just play with it. Go and set it up, shoot it one way, then move it, shoot it another way, and then look at all your results of how different they are, and see which one works best for the situation.
Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's just find the thing that works for you
There's
to
always
create.
a wrong, and you know
Yeah,
when you
yeah,
get there.
I guess that's true. There's always that moment when, oh my God, everything went
What
wrong
happened?
there.
Yeah.
So, well, I think that was the main thing I want to talk about. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, I think overall, just get outside the box, like you were saying, like play with the softbox or the modifier and move it around. There's other things you could put on them too, grids and different things like that to keep the light off the background. So
Right.
if you do want to use that other edge and it's going to get too much on the background, you can put a grid on it, and that will now keep the light directional and
Yeah.
not spilling everywhere.
Right.
So different modifiers for different things, like some throw light everywhere, some keep it very focused.
Yeah, and that's the thing is get out and play with them, try things. So remember, don't just shoot that light right down the center every time. Start moving that and moving it around and moving it in relationship to your subject and see what you get, because you're going to start learning a lot. And take pictures and we'll study them, pull them up on your computer in a grid and just look at them all, and you can really over time you'll begin to see those finer details of all that. So
Yeah.
all right, well, thanks for being here.
Cool.
And
Thank
again,
you.
this is the Creative Studio, sponsored by the Photographers Adventure Club here in Parkwood Studios in Phoenix, Arizona. And we'll see you on the next show.